This is a case study involving a client of ours who had just retired. Up until retirement, he was current on all his bills. The minimum payments on his credit cards were $1,407 a month. His car payment was $318. He was paying out $1,725 a month. Then he retired. At that point, he had $11,000 cash saved up. He had $60,000 in credit cards still unpaid. And what I always recommend is you got to retire your debt before you retire. So we looked at all his options. First option is see if he could continue doing everything on his own. Well, the income went down upon retirement, and so he couldn't pay his credit cards any longer. He was current on his car, though. We looked at a debt management plan through a nonprofit consumer credit counseling agency. The payment there would have been very close to the minimum payments on his credit cards, and he couldn't do that because retirement income was much lower than his working income. We looked at debt settlement as an option there, but $11,000 is not enough to settle $60,000 in credit card debt. Also, he didn't have enough money to set aside each month to save up to settle the credit card debt, and so that wouldn't work there. Another option we looked at is a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. He was qualified for it, but it was not a very good option for him because in his set of circumstances, that $11,000 cash was not exempt. There was no protection for it. So yeah, he could have filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. He would have eliminated $60,000 of debt, but he would have lost the $11,000 in cash, and he would still be paying monthly $318, because if you want to keep your car, you got to keep making the car payment. Instead, we used a Chapter 13. The payment there was only $470 a month, and it took care of the car and eliminated the $60,000 in debt, and it saved him the $11,000 in cash. He got to keep it, even though it was non-exempt in bankruptcy, because this payment took care of everything. And so at the end of the payment plan, he would get the title of the car, he'd be out of the credit card debt, it would be eliminated, and he got to keep his $11,000 cash. So overall, a very good result for him, much better than a Chapter 7, because even if he did a Chapter 7, he'd still have $318 going out, and he would have lost the $11,000 cash. And so his reduction there was $1,255 a month in what was going out. The reason why there was a reduction is because his income went down upon retirement. It was not savings. That's why I crossed that out. It was a reduction in payment, because in bankruptcy you only have to pay as much as you can afford. And so the payments were reduced that low because his income went down. If you'd like to look at all the options that are available to you to solve your debt problems, call me at 930-7000 for a free consultation. We'll take a look at all your income, your expenses, review all your options, and you'll get all your questions answered. I hope that helps. Have a good day.